And welcome back to Let's Play Disgaea, Hour of Darkness. Last time, we unlocked the Cave of Ordeals and made it halfway through it. We needed to do so in order to unlock the next major level grinding area of the game and get my characters ready for the rest of the game. Now, I would like to go over a new addition to the team, and he's going to be invaluable for getting power for the rest of the game going forward. Yoinky Sploin. Yeah, I wanted to name him Yoink E. Sploink, but unfortunately that name was too ambitious for the game's character limit. But he is the highest rank of thief I was able to create, but he did not start that way. He actually began life as a Star Mage, and I just quickly ground that Star Mage's staff mastery up using the method in the Hall of Caresses, just using heal spells on the attack plus panels, then built up his Giga Star until it hit a 3x3 area. Did a couple extra castings of it just to make sure we don't lose it when we transmigrate, because you lose a little bit even transmigrating at the genius level. And now Yoinky Sploin is a reasonably competent caster, even though thieves are absolutely terrible at it naturally. I had to make extra certain that he was able to use a powerful staff at a decent level to clear Cave of Ordeals 3 in a single shot, and I did so by making Yggdrasil's staff. This was just the most powerful staff I was able to afford, and I spent time building up a teacher to an acceptable level. Around 3,000 is where I wanted to stop, so now, as you can see, both Karine and Yoinky Sploin get a huge amount of intelligence from this, and this is necessary as the final map of Cave of Ordeals does require this much firepower to actually finish off. Now, other things that I want to go over is that because I have a thief, and I got Yoinky Sploin up to level 500, a little bit over, of course, because it's hard to do that exactly, just so he'd have very high odds of stealing things. At this point in the game, once your thieves start to break into the 100s, their chance to steal goes up dramatically, because we've kind of capped off at the value of the items we can steal, so that penalty to stealing is becoming less and less of a problem, and thieves' level count for double in the stealing formula of the game, so after they start getting levels in the hundreds, the steal chance going up to 99% starts to pretty heavily favor them, and you only need a thief around, I want to say, like level 5,000 to steal absolutely everything in the game, and for my purposes it'll probably just need to be like level 3,000 or something, but that's neither here nor there. I've gotten some equipment. Angel Sandal. The important thing about Angel Sandal is that it gives +2 to your move instead of just +1, and we've also got accelerators. If you see accelerators, regardless of quality, you always want to steal them because they give you a whopping +3 move. Also, we can start finding infernal armors. These are the most powerful non-rank 40 pieces of armor in the game. Any armor stronger than this is specialty armor that is extremely difficult to get. You'll see infernal armors all over the place in the item world, and it's a good idea to steal these whenever you see them at the legendary level. I've also got a rare one just because I was picking up whatever I could get my hands on at the time. I've powered up Levi's gun, so now he's a pretty potent damage dealer himself. Marina's starting to fall off a little bit. I haven't really upgraded or stored, but that doesn't matter because among other things that I got are Cosmic Blades. Cosmic Blades are amazing. Just look at that stats. It's a common sword. If it were to be a legendary sword, that attack stat would be 3,000 and 450 to every single other stat. Cosmic Blades are ridiculous, and Cosmic Blades plus the rank 40 sword Yoshitsuna, these are the reason why swords are just so good. They are flatly superior. Compare a common Cosmic Blade to a legendary Longinus that even has pretty decent specialists on it, and it's just almost it is just flatly superior. The only reason the HP is so good is because I've got a powerful dietitian on this. So, this is definitely the point between this video and the next. I'm going to start transitioning Laharl into swords, especially if I get a legendary or rare Cosmic Blade. Now, one thing I would like to go over is something that I was originally planning. I did not expect to find so many Cosmic Blades so quickly. Good thing that's in store. Excalibur is basically the Cosmic Blade Light. I believe it's either the rank 35 or rank 36 sword, but much like the Cosmic Blade, it gives a pretty sizable boost to all your stats, so it's a lot better than the swords that come after it, even though their attack power is considerably higher, just because when you item world this, you get huge boosts to all your stats when combined with your weapon mastery, and the lost attack power can just easily be made up for with a high-leveled gladiator. So Excaliburs are very good for your sword users. If you don't have Cosmic Blades, these are the ones that you want to start working on, but we do have Cosmic Blades now, so I can just skip that altogether. With all that rambling out of the way, let's actually get to the meat of this video, the Cave of Ordeals 4 and 5. So the levels start to jump pretty dramatically at this point in the post-game map. We had level 150 enemies in the previous map. Now we got 210, that's not too bad. 250, that's a bit of an increase. And then level 300. And the increase is even more stark starting with the next map. Now Laharl cannot just tap enemies to kill them anymore, just because I haven't really been working on his actual attack power. So we do need to make sure we're using skills to consistently kill things with him. And like the human world, we're just going to stick to having him come out and bait. He's got so much defense, and on top of that, so much HP that he can easily just tank a bunch of hits. Hell Pepper does poison us, but that's not a huge deal. Now, because Karin is so overpowered, I'm going to limit my usage of her, and it'll probably only take like single target strikes, just so everybody can get a little bit of floor time in this. Laharl is also carrying the Statistician I've built up right now, so he's getting extra EXP. I may build up multiple statisticians after a certain point, because it doesn't take too long to get them ready, since they cap out at 300 anyway, so that's certainly something. Let's take a look at Levi's damage. We'll just use Bullet Storm to get a rough idea. We'll have Marina come out and take this guy down, and we'll just have Karin come up, whatever, just have her heal Laharl, I guess. At some point, I'll probably want to learn Giga Heal in case we need to heal some serious injuries, but with the amount of intelligence she has at this point, she can heal most anything we're going to come across with Mega Heal. The basic heal spell actually has a really terrible modifier for how much it heals. It's I want to say it's like 25% of your intelligence stat is what you can expect from it. Mega Heal is closer to like, it'll be like a, I want to say like between a third and half of your intelligence stat. Note that healing is governed by the intelligence stat in Disgaea 1. Every game after Disgaea 1... sorry, got something in my throat. Every game after Disgaea 1 decided to dictate healing magic under the res stat. But this game, it is just a standard school of magic like any other. It is handled by the intelligence stat. You know what? Actually, let's back them up a little bit and do rapid fire, see how much damage we get off of this. Fortunately, the vertical tolerance on rapid fire is pretty good. One thing I actually did want to say for spears that I don't really go over the positives of spears, just because I do find them to be one of the worst weapon types in the game, and that is far from an unpopular opinion. But spears do actually enjoy pretty high vertical tolerance on a lot of their moves. Like, let's just look at this. So Impaler can reach up 24 and reach down 36, which is pretty awesome, honestly. Sky Lunge, not so much, but Asteroid Drop also has pretty high vertical tolerance for an AoE move. Avalanche, up and down 24, that's pretty good. Turbulence is one of the best AoE skills for vertical tolerance, and it also has the unique wind element. No other weapon in the game actually carries that element under its special skills. And then there's Spear Storm, pretty much the same, but with fire. So spears do have their uses. I'm just not a huge fan of them. We should be able to take this guy out with a little teamwork from Laharl and Levi. And yeah, this is probably the last time we're going to be using Longinus. Even if I do item world it in an effort to hunt for better weapons. I mean, swords are just going to be so much better at this point now that we can get Cosmic Blades. It's just kind of silly to keep Laharl stuck to spears for variety, especially since we need every bit of punching power we can get at this stage of the game. Also, I believe this is the first time we can... it's been so long since I played the final stage, I forget if you see one there, but if it's not like in one of the final chapters, I think this is one of the few times we encounter the Hogmiser class in standard gameplay or a standard story map. Of course, you'll start seeing those guys all over the place once you're doing your item worlding. Now, Cave of Ordeal 5. Honestly, I probably could have beaten Cave of Ordeals 4 with what I had in the previous video, but Cave of Ordeal 5 was just right out of the question. The enemies get much, much tougher in this map, and we really do need all the power that I've just gotten. So let's just take a look at the boss of this map. Well, okay, I'm being kind of generous when I say boss, Geist, but he is very, very powerful, level 700, and he's got a huge amount of HP. We really do need the striking power that I got to take this guy out. But even more than that, something that isn't immediately obvious when you enter the level, over here is this guy, the Zombie King, and level 1000, over 100k HP, really high stats, and really, really powerful equipment. I want to draw attention to that armor right there, Nirvana. That is rank 40 armor. It is the ultimate armor piece in the game, and the only way you can get one, I believe you can also item world one by going into a legendary Nirvana, but the only way you can get one is by stealing it from this guy. He is only on the map the first time you play it. After you kill him, he never returns. This is your only chance to get Nirvana. Very uniquely for a rank 40 item, Nirvana can be common or rare. Other rank 40 items in the game, they are always legendary. They will always let you item world them up to 100 floors. Nirvana is the exception to that, and honestly, it is not worth it for us to try and steal it. We would have to throw a thief over there. And due to the way lift and throw mechanics work in this game, we can only get one character over to this block, and before we actually get to throwing over there, you need 2 characters who can throw a distance of 6 panels. So that either means you need multiple thieves, or you need a thief and Captain Gordon on your team, which you might not have, and if you manage to have Gordon toss somebody onto this and there's no way to throw them to the next one, the map is unwinnable because you cannot throw characters onto onto other characters' great towers in Disgaea 1. And even if you could, if it wasn't a character with 6 throw range, they wouldn't be able to throw the person far enough to get over there. But I'm getting ahead of myself here. Let's get to work on taking these guys out. These Nightmares are level 350. These Nebuloses are the real threats of the area surrounding us. These guys are level 400, have pretty massive stats. Like a lot of enemies in the game, though, they're not as threatening as they could be because they do not have equipment, so we don't have to worry about that, at least. So I really want to get to work on just having everybody take these guys out, so let's have Levi come out here and try blast this guy. He should be able to take him out, or try burst, sorry, I got the name wrong. Should be able to take them out with the Ice Weakness exploited. We're going to Dimension Slash these 2 guys. Marina does not have the striking power to take both these guys out, so we're going to need to have Laharl finish at least one of them off. And I'm going to have Karine come out, and actually, you know what? I'm going to wait for a bit just to see what the situation is here. I was actually a little concerned if Levi could actually pull that out, but fortunately, Tri-Burst did come through with the damage we need. I want to minimize damage as much as possible, because now we are at a point where the enemies could conceivably hurt us quite a bit. Particularly Karine, who has very low defenses. She could be taken out pretty quickly here, so we want to make sure as much as possible is taken out. We'll just hit this guy with a fire spell, because with the amount of intelligence he has, look at that, that's not much is going to be surviving that at this point. Basically just the Tiamat and the Zombie King. Alright, I am fine with Soul Eater. That is not the worst attack in the world. And fortunately, these guys are not as nearly as scary as I was worried they'd be. Pretty much only Karine right now is threatened by them. I'll have her take out this Nightmare here. And I just gotta think about how I want to approach these guys. Yeesh, these guys are going whole hog. Yeah, some pretty decent damage there, but nothing we can't handle. Actually, you know what? I'm going to change my approach a little bit here. What we're going to do is we're going to have Levi take out this guy with Bullet Storm. We're going to have Laharl Asteroid drop these guys. And then we're going to have Marina do a Dimension Slash on them. And that should finish these guys off. Then I'll have Karine step forward and just do a double Gigastar, or line formation Gigastar. Oh wow, he did not take that guy out. I'm kind of shocked by that, honestly. This turn might not be going to plan. Well, it's not the end of the world if it doesn't. We did pretty well on that first turn, didn't take as much damage as I was expecting, which, so we should be fine going forward for the rest of this map. The big threats, of course, are going to be the Tiamat. The Zombie King actually is not going to be a threat at all. I'm going to be throwing Karine over, because she's the only one who can do enough damage to take him out in a reasonable time frame. And she, with her 9 range on her magic, she'll just be able to take him out without even aggroing him at all. He will just sit there and let you hurl nukes at him until he falls over dead. Alright, so we got Cannonball coming. Might do me a favor here and take out that Nightmare. No, it looks like that attacks in a cross pattern. I don't use the monster units in this game, so I'm not good at remembering how their attacks actually hit you. We do absolutely want to make sure Karian survives, because, of course, she is going to be our ticket for defeating the Zombie King, so we need her to be still in the action by the end of this. We're going to reverse it this time, do a Dimension Slash, then have Laharl do the Asteroid Drop. I'll get him a little bit closer to the Tiamat. We want to aggro that thing so we can start taking out in relative safety. And Laharl has more than enough HP and defense to tank whatever it can throw at him. And once he's in range, I'll have my entire team combine their efforts to take him down. Those guys actually hung in there. Alright, that actually means we need to do some... I'm gonna make an executive decision to sacrifice a character here. We cannot win this map if Karian dies right now, so we're just going to just have Misty take one for the team. Okay. Levi should be able to finish this guy off on the counterattack. And if he is still alive by the end of this, I'm going to throw him next to the Tiamat, or rather the other guy. I'm going to throw him next to the Tiamat and just get him in our AoE attacks. Yeesh, that actually was pretty spicy right there. But if we all combine our efforts, we should be able to take this guy out no problem. He's weak to fire, funnily enough. Don't use fire magic on dragons in Disgaea 2. They are not vulnerable to it, so... Let's see, we want to go order of operations, just have the weakest characters get their attacks out first. We'll have Laharl do an asteroid drop. Be careful to make sure nobody is in the AoE. Gonna have Levi do the Totem Cruise, not the Teuton Cruise. And we're going to have Karian throw out an Omega Fire, since this guy is weak to it. And this should take him out, no problem. To me, it's pretty satisfying to see these attacks just chunk through the enemies. Now, should this guy survive the pummeling that we're giving him right now, which unfortunately is a very real possibility if he has a boosted res from the weird mechanic, then we might have to sacrifice another character to make sure Karian survives the turn. But that's not a huge deal. Let me see here. Okay, yeah, he's got boosted res. In one of my test recordings, or my test attempts at this level, he got taken out by that no problem. So yeah, we have to sacrifice another unit to make sure we can actually finish the level. Okay, this is a little unfortunate that he's doing an attack that'll take out 2 of my thieves, but we have... Oh, never mind. Well, okay, never mind. I guess he actually did something smart there, but we got plenty of thieves. We got Gordon if we need him, so... that did not go to plan. That was not what I wanted to have happen at all. This is going a lot worse than my test attempt at this level. Although, again, like I said, in the test attempt, he was not resistant to magic, so I took him out a lot quicker. He also had a lot less HP. I'm guessing his equipment has a dietitian on it this time, or at least a couple pieces do. Totem Cruise actually does do pretty solid damage when attacking a weakness. I do kind of funny that the attack called Inferno does not actually deal fire damage. Alright, this should take him down this time. And if not, Laharl will definitely be able to finish him off. Such a cool animation. I love all of the high-level magic animations in this game. And I've mentioned this previously, but they're relatively brief, so it's not a hassle to have to watch them. So let's see. So what am I going to do here? So I'm just going to throw these guys forward. And then we're going to break the tower. Let's see. We want to... I kind of making a mess of this, but okay, I know this should still work out. Actually, I'm a little bit off. That's okay. Laharl, now that he has a huge move range, he can just move up and chuck them over. You have to be at this corner to make it. Perspective always throws me off in the Disgaea series. Okay, chuck him over here. And now we get over to this little island. And now we're just going to start hurling out Gigastars. Now, hopefully this guy does not have boosted res. If he does, this is going to take forever. The reason I'm using Gigastar is to... Okay, he does not. The reason I'm using Gigastar is to make sure we're as far out of his range as possible, just in case he does something funny that I wasn't expecting. It would probably be slightly faster to use an Omega level of an elemental spell to whatever what his weakness was, but this is much safer, so that's what we're going to do. Kind of wish the... combo mechanic. It's a bit weirdly named, but starting with Disgaea 2, there's a mechanic where if your character does not move in a turn, and they've done an action in the previous turn, they start building up what the game calls a combo, and basically it's just a percent boost to all their stats, starting with 10%, and then it kind of diminishes after you get to like 30%. I forget what the cap for combo for staying in place. I remember when I first learned about that mechanic, I just like to call it the resting bonus because you're not moving. And one more Gigastar. Now, aside from the zombies' equipment that you can steal from them, there is one other thing to expect from Cave of Ordeals when you clear it. So let's just get all our rewards there. Look at all that money. Nice. For the first time that you clear Cave of Ordeals 5, you get a God's Hand. Now, this God's Hand is not guaranteed to be legendary. It's not even guaranteed to be rare. It can be any rarity in the game. And some people, and yeah, unfortunately I got unlucky, some people like to recommend replaying this level until you get a legendary God's Hand. I honestly would not recommend that at all. As you can see, it took quite a bit of time for me to clear that level, and if you have the power to actually clear that level consistently, odds are you probably already have rank 39 weapons, or clear the level quickly, I mean. The odds are you'll have rank 39 weapons or high-leveled characters at that point anyway, so a legendary God's Hand doesn't mean that much to you. And look at the Cosmic Blades that I got. I also saw multiple God's Hands, no rare or legendary ones, but no different than the one that we just got over the course of item worlding, so, you know, and that only was like in the span of like 20 minutes, so, you know, we're just better off trying to get one via item worlding. Now, something that we can do right now, well, okay, we could unlock the alternate netherworld, which is our next bonus chapter, but it is going to be a while before we can clear all the maps in that. The first one's much like every other post-game area in the game. They don't start out that much stronger than what the end of the game would demand to you, but they quickly ramp up. And just to give you perspective, the the boss of this chapter is level 2000. We need to do quite a bit of preparation to get ready to take down someone who's that high level, because they are a monster type unit and they do actually have equipment, so they get pretty sizable bonuses to all their stats at that point. Let me see here. So, what I want to do to get prepared for that, first off, I want to just get my characters to level 500, all of them. Like I mentioned in the previous video, that's where diminishing returns starts to kick in for the equipment modifiers, and it starts taking more and more levels to get more multipliers attached to your accessory slots and your weapon slot for monsters. So that's a good stopping point, I think. And we need to build up tons of weaponry. So what I want to do is get multiple good swords, both for Laharl and for Marina, but also for other things that I want to do. We also want to get a powerful fist, which conveniently we've gotten one here. There's a very real chance I'll find one in the item world. And one that might surprise you, we also need to get a well, okay, first we also need a more powerful gun than we got, but that'll be quick enough to do. But we also need a more powerful bow for something that I'm going to be doing in the next video. Next video, we will be cleaning up the remaining unlocks, getting all of the remaining secret classes in the game. Of course, we've got the first of the secret class, the EDF soldiers, which, if you forget how you unlock these guys, you just have to get a character to level 30 gun mastery, and you unlock them, no questions asked. You can even get them before you first encounter the EDF in the story. So, this video has a few minutes left, so let's actually do some item worlding, because this is the point in the game where we have to do tons of it to start making progress. And let me see. God's Hand's a little spicy, but this Infernal Armor should be a good index for what we want to do, so let me just make a save here. I actually made a save before Ordeal 5 in my practice run, just to see if I could complete that map reasonably quickly, and I could not, so I decided it was not worth it. But let's go into some item worlding, and more particularly, let's go into some stealing. So, at this point in the game, doing the item world, when you first spawn into a map, and as always, remember to save, because the item world is absolute anarchy in Disgaea Hour of Darkness. It can very easily give you a map that you cannot clear. So when we spawn in, we want to take a look at the character list and scroll through all the enemies to see what they have. Now, at this point in the game, we're in the territory of items that are rank 30, and the items that enemies can be equipped with, they range from the stuff that you can find at the beginning of the game to stuff that's a little bit stronger than the rank of the item that you are currently in. And once we start getting around like rank 34 or so, we can very easily see items all the way up to rank 39. And indeed, the vast majority of the rank 39 items in the game, that does in fact require being in the item world, because there are not many... What am I trying to say here? Not many attainable through standard means just by progressing the game. Longinus is one, and he happens to have the unique distinction of being a guaranteed legendary, which is pretty nice. And there's the God's Hand we just got, and I can't think of any other that we can get from story maps. Well, okay, there are a couple that we can steal from bonus bosses, but I don't really count those. So let me see here. Let's just check the character list again, see if anybody's got anything good. And I don't know offhand, that Muscle World is pretty decent actually, what the best items are for every category, but I do know what are some ones that are good to look out for. Obviously, accelerators are a very good thing to pick up. More legendary infernal armors, we want as many of those as possible, or rather, enough to outfit my team. They're a very good piece of armor to item world, because at this point, we're getting to the point where the bonuses from emblem type equipment, even if we item world them, they do not give significant bonuses in every stat at this point, so it might be worth it to just use a stronger, dedicated piece of armor and make up the lost stats in other areas using specialists on our weapons, since we get much higher multipliers on that at this point. So we're not really seeing anything too terribly interesting at the moment, so I'm just going to cut to when we see the first thing that's worth stealing. Well, now, here's something that's interesting. The guide that I was reading lied to me. Nirvanas are not exclusive to that map. We can actually get them within the item world. So you know what? What the heck? Let's go steal that and see what we could have... Oh, whoops. Not the area I want to be in. First off, I just want to take out this specialist. And then we're going to chuck my thief over and have him steal. So let's get these two taken care of. Just get as much experience as possible, because we need to get to level 500. Well, it's nice when I'm proven wrong, it's within the same video, so I can append that right away, not have to worry about it later. And because I have no following, I don't have to worry about comments correcting me before it gets to that point in the video where I realized I am wrong. You have to forgive me on that sometimes. The information on this game is not always 100% accurate, because it's a bit of a cult classic. So, let's just yoink from this guy. Now, when you're stealing at this point in the game, just use bandit hands. They hit from a huge distance, they have the best hit stats, are the most reliable, and we can steal this, no problem. Let's take the Nirvana. One annoying thing about stealing in Disgaea 1 is that you can't actually see you can't see the statistics of what you're trying to steal until you already have it. So, let's see. Nirvana, as you can see, very, very sizable defense and res stats. That said, I do kind of like the Infernal Armors a little bit better, because they also boost HP and your attack power, so there is a bit more to be had from equipping them in those areas. So I guess it just really comes down to preference. If you want as much defense as possible, which in Disgaea 1 is perfectly valid, having a more defensively robust character works just fine in this game. It's not like Disgaea 4, where enemies would eventually... enemies and player characters eventually just ignored the defense stat altogether. It is perfectly acceptable to specialize defense in this game. Okay, just looking at all that. Alright, so that's just one I wanted to show off. Just some basics for stealing and the kind of things you want to look for. And the value of items that we can steal relative to what's available in shops. With that taken care of, let's get to the end of this. Alright, and we are out of here. Now I would like to say for item worlding, if you are in an area that isn't like nice and compact and there's only like 4 enemies to kill, you really should just kill the item in general, if you even need to do that, and then just skip the floor. It's really not worth it to go out of your way for that, but hey, look at those pretty decent stats on the Infernal Armor. If I item worlded up Levi's armor, those boosts would be pretty sizable also. Alright, let's recover ourselves here. Now, one thing to note about stealing equipment from the item world is the deeper you get into the item, the more likely you're to come across enemies that have pretty good stuff on them. And I had already saw another Nirvana in there, so even before you get to floor 10, there's still pretty good stuff to be had, and I'm going to be doing a lot of item worlding between this video and the next one in order to take as many chances as possible to get a good equipment like that. Like I said, we want to get more swords, we want to get more guns. If we can get a better version of God's Hand, that would be nice. And I do want to get a bow, and along the way, power up any staff I come across. If we come across the rank 39 Infernal Staff, absolutely want to take that. So yeah, that is what I'll be taking care of, and when we come back in the next video, we're going to be unlocking the remaining character classes, and we're going to do a bit more in-depth item worlding and go over the things that we just have not had the chance to go over yet, because we haven't really had the characters who can make it that deep in the item world. So as always, I hope you enjoyed watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Until then though, goodbye.